I have several regrets in my dumb, stupid little life. One being getting a Disney World annual pass right before the 2020 pandemic, which shut down the entire world, as well as going to a liberal arts school for filmmaking. Ugh. But one regret that shoots to the very top of my list is not riding Kingda Ka at Six Flags Dirty Gabagool, New Jersey. And now this epic roller coaster is gone. It's been demolished. It's even more frustrating because I had the opportunity to ride this ride and I chose not to. I was like, oh, I'll just come back later and do it. Now they were extremely strict about letting anyone on this ride with like anything in their pockets whatsoever. Apparently like security like pats you down. I was too tired and lazy to walk back to my car to leave my camera gear in there. It was just very dumb. It was a very poor decision on my part. -5 gabagools because your locker's too expensive. But somehow this dude over here got a camera on. He even did it twice. I don't know how he did that. I also love the fact that the same guy, he was just slamming back some cold ones with his bro in the parking lot, live streaming right during the demolition of this ride.
I know, it's like me and Joe pulled up, I immediately, like I'm a 30-year-old dude. I went to jail a few times, I started crying.
So what's the deal with this ride, and why are so many people getting so emotional about the ending of it?
And we have heard nothing positive regarding Ka's future. This is something to take seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, this is serious today. Ain't no time for jokes, okay?
This is real.
This is theme park news you're not gonna see anywhere else. Okay, well, some brief history on this ride. Built back in 2005, at the time it was the fastest and tallest roller coaster ever built, boasting speeds up to 127 miles per hour. Now, depending on who you ask, I think there's some controversy on just how fast this coaster went. Some claim it's closer to maybe 118 miles per hour. I mean, regardless, it was a pretty fast ride in order to clear the 456-foot incline in like 3.5 seconds. So why did it close? Well, a lot of people think, you know, money. Since the merger of Six Flags and Cedar Fair, it looked as though they were trying to find ways to cut down costs. Now, apparently Kingda Ka was pretty expensive to run and operate. Like, they needed pretty much around-the-clock maintenance on it. So in order to cut some costs, they decided, hey, let's just blow up this roller coaster. Sorry, implode it, not explode it. I bet rich people would love it if they exploded a roller coaster and it took out some sorry people, some sorry poor people. Like, can't get distracted, Kenny. Let's serious business today. So the future of this theme park, the Gabagool, New Jersey, Six Flags, bit questionable. No one knows what's really gonna happen. Some are worried that it's gonna lead to a lot of mediocre rides. Who knows? And honestly, I don't know either. You shouldn't listen to me. You should never come to me for any theme park news because honestly, I'm a pretty dumb idiot boy who can barely speak good. You know how dumb I am. I didn't ride Kingda Ka and I was right there and I was like, oh, I'm too tired. I had the chance. I ruined it. So let's gather around and watch this roller coaster fall to the ground one more time. I salute one of the all-time greats that I never got a chance to experience. I know it's great because a lot of people say it was really good. Kingda Ka, long live the king, R.I.P., you sweet, sweet king. Moment of silence, please. Moment of silence. Just shut up. That's good enough. Okay, before moving on, I would like to address a couple things. I know in a couple of recent videos, I said some controversial things. So I want to take this moment to apologize for excluding Piccolo from my top Dragon Ball Z character list, my favorite characters. It was a really poor slight on my part. Also, it seems as though a very small vocal minority of Frieza fans are out there, and they were also not happy with the fact that I made fun of their imperialistic, fascist, space racist. And I know you Frieza fans just want me to make fun of vloggers and people that you don't like. And I was a fool to ever make fun of a little loser that weaseled his way into power. I am talking about Frieza here, no one else. Just shut up and dribble, am I right?
It's a weird freaking day to be alive. It feels like we live in a goddamn simulation.
It's very sad.
Anywho, watching people get extremely emotional about the ending of Kingda Ka got me thinking about other theme park rides that had closed. Listen, my soul is black and dead. I don't know if I have the emotional capacity to ever get that upset over the closing of an inanimate object like a theme park attraction.
It was one of those rides that helped me transition from like roller coasters that are scary to like I can do anything, you know?
But don't get it twisted here. I'm not making fun of these people at all. Okay. In fact, I am trying to find a way to understand it and to maybe kind of relate to them in some way. And honestly, we all get emotionally attached to a variety of things. I really think that my generation, the millennial kind of Gen Zers, we really gravitate towards theme parks because it kind of brings us back to a more simple time when we were kids. Because now we're just kind of inundated with an onslaught of information and a lot of depressing news. So anything we can do to kind of escape this awful reality, to go back into the past, or even just escape to a fantasy land of theme parks just for a few hours, I think it's okay. You know, as long as you don't do it too much. But I understand, at least to that degree, why people get so attached and emotionally invested into these attractions. This also reminded me of when Snow White's Scary Adventures closed in Magic Kingdom. Eventually, the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train would go on to kind of replace it. Now, the original version of this ride, which opened with Magic Kingdom in 1971, was insane. I heard it was scary and like bizarre, like creepy scary, but I had no idea. I stumbled upon a couple videos on YouTube, and just to give you a sense of how insane this ride was, here's a couple comments here. The Imagineers who designed this version of the ride must have hated children. Could you imagine having to evacuate off this thing? Now this is a dark ride, scarier than some haunted houses. Did they really expect children to ride this? If I rode this as a child, I would have been scared shitless. When I was 12, I got scared of the new version. All right, so I just gotta see what this thing is all about. Says, I'm an adult, I can handle these things easy. All right, it's the handy cam with the light attached to it really just gives it a whole other creepy vibe with the skeletons and everything. And she is just hideous. She's just popping out of everywhere. It's like freaking jump scares. All right, so now we're getting into the woods here, and I just really don't like the vibe of this whatsoever. This is like a snuff film. I don't think I should be looking at this. All right, now thank God, we're getting into some little animals and some little dwarves. Okay, we're doing okay now. Almost on the, out of nowhere with this lady. This was in the Magic Kingdom. They let this happen. This feels illegal to me. I'm a changed man now after watching that. Honestly, Alien Encounter had nothing on that ride. I would give Dan's left arm to ride this just once. That's all I need, just once. Cut his arm off, let me go back in time, ride this. That's all I want to do. That was a theme park ride. We need to bring that back. They eventually updated it in 1994, became much more of kind of telling Snow White's story, the Disney version of it. It was much more appropriate for kids and parents. Still kind of creepy, but it was fine. It was fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Had a whole lot less of those scary trees. Honestly, I wish we had a little bit more of them. I just want kids to experience just a little bit of danger. Just a little bit, okay? Just a little scare. Bring back scariness in Disney World. That's what I think we should do. So eventually this ride closed in 2012. And on the last day, a lot of fans rode it in appreciation. They even dressed up for it. It was a cool little fun moment in time when, the theme park fans got together and paid tribute to this ride for one last time. And in fact, the ride had this super fan, a young boy named Ben, who rode it over 3,000 times. Disney wanted to celebrate his achievement with a personal meet and greet with Snow and White. And he even got to ride the ride with her too. Ben was even the very last person to ever ride it. Nice little moment here. People give him a little applause. Starting to feel something down there. Something in here. Something's happening in there. Something's happening in there.
That the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day.
I don't know what this feeling is. So here's my personal goal for the future. I want to feel something, okay? I want to feel some heartbreak. I want to get together with some people and have a nice little cry. As we all know, a bunch of Disney World things are coming to an end in 2025. One of them being Dinosaur, one of my all-time favorite rides. I know it's kind of campy and goofy, but gosh darn it, I just love that thing so much. And perhaps one of the most iconic Disney attractions ever is closing in June, and that's Muppet Vision 3D. This is a pretty important one because it was the last Muppets project Jim Henson ever worked on before he died. Both Dan and I have looked into trying to get it recognized as a national landmark. Apparently that's impossible because it is owned by the Disney company, so not gonna happen. Disney has alluded, apparently, to finding ways to preserve aspects of this ride. I don't know what that means. It could just mean, hey, we're gonna, upload the film on Disney Plus. Have fun. Kind of boring. They could do so much more with it, but whatever. They're just gonna be cheap and stingy and find the laziest ways possible to preserve it. Getting back to my goal, I've never been to Disney World on the closing of an attraction, and I would really like to do it for Muppets Vision 3D. So I want to go to Hollywood Studios, the makeshift theme park of random IPs, and be there for the final day, final hour, final minute of Muppet Vision 3D. I want to be a part of that collective moment of grief and sorrow, and maybe, just maybe, shed a little tear. Maybe even find a way to steal that really cool Miss Piggy fountain. I think I can get that out of the park without being tackled by a security guard. So maybe on the closing day of that attraction, I can hang out in the parking lot, chugging down some dews, having a good cry with the boys, and remembering the good old days. Freeze's Trump in that analogy, by the way.